food and hunger. Today we're gonna talk about food hunger and nutritional requirement. Food production has grown faster than population, but chronic hunger remains widespread. 870 million people in the world today are considered chronically undernourished. Poverty threatens food security is the ability to obtain sufficient food on a daily basis. Famines are large-scale food shortage, massive starvation, social disruption, and economic chaos. Food and Agriculture Organization reported that 58 million people in 36 countries needed emergency food aid. Eating a good variety of foods provides the range of nutrients you need. Examples of good dietary pyramid consist of daily exercise and weight control, vegetable, fruits, healthy fats and oil, whole grain, nut, seed, bean and tofu, fish, poultry, eggs, dairy, vitamin D and calcium supplement, while red meat, white rice, pasta and potatoes are eaten considerately. Malnourishment is a term for a nutritional imbalance caused by a lack of specific dietary components or an inability to absorb or utilize essential nutrients. Example of nutritional problems. First, anemia. Second, kwashiorkor. And third, marasmus. The best practice in managing crops. Definition of the managing crop. The group of agricultural practices used to improve the growth, development, and yield of agricultural crops. There is 5 the best practice in the managing crop. First, intercropping. Second, crop rotation. Third, cover crops. Fourth, tillage. And fifth, zero burning. First, intercropping. Cultivate more than one crop at a time and increase sunlight capture. Second, crop rotation. Break weed and pest life cycle. Provide complementary fertilization among the crops in the sequence with each other. Third, cover crops. First, cover crops. Any annual, biennial or perennial plants grow as a monoculture or polyculture to manage soil fertility, soil equality, water, weeds, pests, diseases, and diversity, also wildlife in ecosystem. Second, compost. The composition of diverse mixtures of organic matter that used in gardening and agriculture as a soil amendment and erosion control. Third, fertilizers. Maintain soil structure, prevents erosion, and prevents a moderate temperature extreme. Also increases water penetration and storage. Fourth, tillage. Preparation of the soil by digging it up. Also exposing the soil to the erosion and impairing the water and mineral. Fifth, zero burning. Currently implemented in oil palm and rubber plantation. All oil palm and rubber trunks are not burned but sliced thin and left to decompose. Trunk can be marketed for furniture industry. Food production policy. How policy can affect food resources. Policy of overseas. Food production is an important economic question. Much of the increase in food production for agricultural education, research and development projects that support irrigation system, transport network, crops insurance and direct subsidies. Over the past decade, the United States has spent $143 billion in farm support. This aid is distributed unevenly. According to the Environmental Working Group, 72% of all aid goes to the top 10% of recipients. Agricultural subsidies can make a critical difference for farmers, but they are concerned globally. Subsidies all American farmers to sell their products overseas at as much as 20% below the actual cost of production.
Okay, today we're going to share about new crops and genetic engineering. This chapter involving the use of DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. In this, deoxyribonucleic acid means that it have chemical double helix code from which genes are made. Okay, first of all, we need to know what is a genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is a process which means by pieces of DNA are transferred from one organism to another organism. It means that the foreign DNA is integrated. Let's look at an example of new crops and genetic engineering. The first example is a cabbage. This is a pest-resistant cabbage. It consists of gene that program poison in a scorpion tails was combined with a cabbage. It means that this modified cabbage produces scorpion poison that kills the caterpillars when they bite the leaf. But no worries, the toxin is modified so it's not harmful to humans. Second example is a golden rice. What is a golden rice? Golden rice is a rice that rich in vitamin A. The next example of genetic engineering new crops is strawberries. Who doesn't love strawberries? This beautiful strawberry have turned into anti-frozen strawberry. It means that this strawberry can store in a room temperature. And next is the chicken. This delicious chicken have been turned into fearless chicken. We already know about new crops and genetic engineering, but we need to remember misunderstanding of these two can cause ethical issues and also allergic reaction. Certain change in plant and animal could cause unpredicted allergic reaction in some people which in its original form did not occur. That's all from the new crops and genetic engineering.
Now we move to the next chapter. Identify the key food source including protein-rich food. The first one we can see potato, barley, oats and rye. This crop stay at mountain region is in high latitude North Europe and North Asia, which part is cool and moist climate. The third is oat and rye, which is located at cool area is mean short season climate. Last one is millet. Millet which is mean it stay at the drought resistant staple in region Africa. Next we move to fruits, vegetable, oil. It has vitamin, mineral, dietary fiber, complex carbohydrate. The country highest in agriculture production is United States.
As we know, for meat, it is good for our wealth, but at the same time, it is expensive for people to buy it. This is due to the resources needed to grow the animal. This problem can be adapted by increasing in technological and breeding innovation to produce more production of meat. Besides, by increase in technological and breeding innovation to produce more product, we also can use antibiotic for this animal.
By using this antibiotic, the animal can live healthy and produce more product. The next key of food resources is seafood. Seafood is a key of protein sources. By increasing of development of technology, such as increasing of modern boats with modern technology, we can get lots of seafood, but at the same time, these valuable species become less and endangered. We need to do something about this. Aquaculture can also increase seafood production, but we need to know what is aquaculture. Aquaculture is a growing aquatic species in a net or tanks. But in the same time, when humans have lots of seafood by aquaculture, it can treat wild fish population and seabirds, and also the organism that depends on them.
Antibiotics are needed for intensive production. For an example, we converting land to soil and cornfield that involving bacteria mature feedlots and liquid waste escape in the environment. These can cause the soil erosion happen. The second example is constant use of antibiotic that consists of massive and constant exposure produce antibiotic resistant pathogens strains adapted survive antibiotic that causing resistance in bacteria infections. This can cause antibiotic useless for human care. Besides, alternative systems are also expanding. It can cause increase of awareness of alternative food system. For an example, agriculture reduce our dependence on oil, antibiotic, and also environment costs of food production. Lastly, in some cases, greater information and trade are helping bolster markets for alternative foods too.